Okay guys, I am back. Give me a second to get my monitor situated. It's always fun when I start it this way. We're going to do a tutorial using PaintShop Pro, if I can get the name right. Finally got this figured out. I talked to a dude by the name of Stevie. If anyone has done much farming sim and played Rattlesnake, I think he does Rattlesnake. I'm not even going to try to go into the maps because I don't want to get the wrong maps. And yeah, but anyway, I had some step-by-step tutorial from him basically in writing, along with some help from Donna. I couldn't figure out how to do it on paint.net. Finally got that taken care of. We just did a tutorial on that, but this one is a little more in-depth, but it does a lot better job. I said it's unfortunately not a free program. PaintShop Pro, once again, is what I used. I believe if you have Photoshop, you could do the same thing. I don't know the exact steps, but you should be able to follow what I'm going to do. So basically what to show you here is this guy here is the free version, paint.net. It does the trick. Like I said, this is supposed to be blue. It does make it blue, but as you can see, the bottom part, the specular is missing, and it's the only way that I could figure out how to do it with the help of Lars. Like I said, it does the job, but it definitely doesn't quite look right. And the same thing over here. Like I said, I did this in the last tutorial too, just to kind of show you. Like I said, that is with the PaintShop version, and this is paint.net. So this is kind of a cooler look in a way, but you can see how it just has like a real shiny, almost like a snake skin look to it. Where this looks, you know, a little more natural. Same over here, basically has the same effect. So let's go ahead and we'll jump out. What I'll do is I'll go ahead and put the colors back to default, so I can show you that we're actually doing this. Let's go back to mod. We're going to go Photoshop. I don't know why I named it Photoshop, because it's not Photoshop, it's PaintShop Pro. I get that messed up, I apologize. I'm going to take these two files, we're going to copy them right into the texture. Copy, replace, copy, replace. Alright, and then what I can do is just to open it. Yeah, it is by Coral, but it's PaintShop Pro, not Photoshop. I don't know why I keep getting it messed up, probably because of the popular name. Go ahead and open the game up. This is a fairly in-depth map, so it takes a little bit to open up. Alright. So as you can see, the one on the left is the paint.net, and this one here is with all the mod script stuff done, XML, but as you can see, it's not changing color correctly. Up top where there's white, it changed it blue, which is the big trick. If anyone's messed with color, that's what you've got to do, is you've actually got to turn things white, which we will get into. But like you can see, there's a really bad bleed through the black. It's the green it's supposed to be coming through in the black, and down here it's supposed to be yellow, but it's green, as you can see. Same thing over here. Like I said, that red is the original color. The white turned orange, and the black's kind of bleeding through. So we're going to jump out, and I will show you how to do it in this program. Alright. So let's go back into the mod folder. I apologize, I keep calling it Photoshop. It's horrible. Go into textures, and what we're going to need is you're going to need the diffuse, and we're going to need the specular. I'm going to go ahead and open with, probably have to do one at a time, don't I? Yep. Open with PaintShop Pro. Alright, So basically, I was telling you before, this whole red area is what we want to change. Basically, want to get it as white as we can get it. And like I said, the instructions I got from Stevie, basically you just go to your mask tool or magic wand. We're going to click on this red. Pretty simple. We're going to go to adjust. We're going to go to hue and saturation. And we're going to go hue, saturation, lightness. What we're going to do is it automatically went to my last setting. Usually it's going to be like in here somewhere, so it'll be red obviously. But we're going to turn the saturation all the way down and the lightness all the way up, and basically it's going to turn as white as we can get it. And actually, really odd, my tolerance is way down. Let's crank that up. On the mask tool I was playing around, I probably messed that up, so let's do this again. Hue and saturation. Still getting a little bit of red in there, so I don't know what the default is, unfortunately, here. Oops. I don't have it all messed up yet. Hue saturation. There we go. Okay, so yeah, tolerance just had to be turned up. I was messing with that. I can't remember what the default is, but we're good now. Like I said, all the way down on saturation, all the way up on the lightness. As you can see, it turns white. So we're going to go ahead and hit OK. And what I do here is I go ahead and save this. This program's a little goofy, the PaintShop Pro. I'll show you what I'm talking about in a little bit. It's a couple of steps ahead, but I'm going to go ahead and go File, Save As. We're going to make sure we're in the correct area. So we are in My Games. My 2017 mod, or in the Photoshop that was named wrong, I apologize, in textures. And we're going to just basically resave right over this file. So we're going to hit save. Yes, we want to replace, and we want to go to DTX. We want to generate bitmaps. It's a DTX1. We want to generate bitmaps. We're going to hit save. Alright, now it's going to take a little bit of time to save in this program. It is done. So now we're going to go to the specular. I'm going to open with PaintShop Pro. Now we're going to go back to the diffuse. We're actually going to go to selections. I'm going to go load save selection. We're going to save selection to alpha channel. Make sure it's on the diffuse. And this, you can name this whatever. We'll just call it 1. You don't even have to change the name if you don't want to. Go ahead and hit save. We're going to go to the specular. Go back to selections again. We're going to go load from alpha channel. Once again, we're loading it from the diffuse. Pretty simple. That's the only one there. We're going to hit load. Now here's the part. I was following the instructions and I kept wanting to save the specular file at this point, but you have to go up and do selections, load save selection, and you want to save selection to alpha channel and make sure it's on your specular. Once again, you can just hit it 1. I don't know if this even matters. We're going to hit save. Alright, now we're going to go file, save as. We'll go ahead and save it as the same name, yes. Now this guy has to be DTX5 with the alpha. We want no bitmap. Hit save. It's going to take some time down here. Anytime now. Alright, it is done. Now, this is what I'm going to show you. This is what I was talking about. So you close this guy, you saved it. Not a big deal. But since you've done all the alpha stuff with this, if you hit close, it's going to pop up save changes, and you would hit no. Or if you was to close the program, it would pop up something goofy as well. Let me go ahead and open this guy up, for example. If we hit close, see, it's going to pop that up. It's going to ask you if you want to save, and what you have to do is just hit this and hit close all. But what I'm going to do is, if you happen to mess it up, you can open it back up. Just to show you, you can go to image and you can hit delete the alpha channel. And that actually reminds me, one of his instructions were, if the specular, let's go ahead and open this guy back up, textures, go to the specular, oops, paint.net, open with, because I did have another program that, or another picture that did have a spec, or the alpha. So basically, before you did all that stuff I told you, you want to come over to image and make sure there's not an alpha channel. If there's not an alpha channel, this will be blacked out, but you would hit delete the alpha channel before you did all the previous stuff I just showed you. Sorry for doing it backwards, but anyway, it's pretty simple once you do it. If you just watch it a couple of times, it'll be in your head pretty quick. Like I said though, if you happen to screw up and save this guy with the alpha image, once again, all you have to do is come up here, hit delete alpha channel, and delete yes. So simple as that. Like I said, you can just close. You don't want to save any of this, close all, and then we'll go into the game. Hey Maki, how's it going today, bud? Sorry, I'm in the middle of a tutorial, so I'm not paying attention to my chat too well. Apologize. Alright, color tutorial. Start. And now we have the correct version of the tractor. As you can see, the GPS, that's the first thing. Up top is white like it's supposed to be. And it looks natural. So right in the tractors, we can go ahead and grab another one. Oops, that's that guy. We can do orange, which I already have orange. Let's just do crimson. How's that? Bye. Yes, okay. There you go. Actually, taking on over to the mud hole, I think is over here somewhere. There you go. And what I'll do is I talked about a little bit on the paint.net tutorial. Let me kind of jump in and show you real quick. You do have to, you can find this stuff on several other color tutorials, I'm sure. I just wanted to show how the coloring was done. But to actually get this guy to be colorable, if you go into the i3D itself, one thing you always make sure of is you go to your word camera. If you're going to save, if you're not going to save, you don't have to. You need to basically find your visual nodes or anything that's going to change color, and choose it right in the visuals. And there's the case visual. You have to make sure this color mask, your shader is usually yeah, we're in a goofy. It's going to be vehicle shader. If this is vehicle dirt, you need to get it changed because that's a FS15. You need a vehicle shader, which is FS17. I'm not saying you have issues, but you could have issues. And basically, like I said, you have to make sure your color mask is selected here for it to even work. And then the other big thing is you need to know this node right here. Where that node comes in is you go to your your actual XML. Actually, just hit color. Of course, it's going to be, there it is, base color. And what I'll do is I think I'm going to copy this little line. I'll just put a XML file. So if you guys just want to go in and copy this, but that's where your actual node goes. That's what you want to actually change the color of. And then here's your default color index. I did a little cheat sheet on that I might share as well, just to kind of show you what I did. And all it is, it's the chart that pops up when you select your color. But what I figured out, let's see, backup, templates, color bits. This is kind of a generic sheet, but this is what I come up with. Basically, when they pop up, it's like 8 wide, and I think it must be 4 down, but it starts out with 1 through 32, and it's basically white and so on. So if you just want to go with the in-game colors as a base color, that's where that comes in. That's where this default color index is. So this guy is white by default. This is just a HUD file. If you want to get creative, there's I got this from Lars, but it's out there on, I think, ModHub. It's a color convert. You can actually pick a color, and it gives you your numbers that you need. And what I can do is I'll show you this real quick. I think it's the big baler. If I bring this guy up, and like I said, I'll save this line as well and try to share it. Scroll all the way down. As you can see, this instead of having it up here up top, it has a base color configuration. There's your actual color, which let's see if we can produce this in that program. So it's 1011, and speaking with Lars, I think we figured out it's 101. Yeah, hot pink. So that's what I was doing. I was trying to, I couldn't figure out, I was clicking this before and I was having numbers over here and it was giving me an error, but that's what it is. If you want to put in a number you have on an index already, you can hit calculate and it's going to show you what it actually is. Or you hit your select color and say you want this lime green, hit OK. It's going to say you need these numbers. And what he was telling me, I haven't tested this, but your red, your green, and your blue. So your red, green, blue, and 1 is for alpha and 0 is for not. I would suggest using 1 because that's where it gets into your alpha on your specular. I don't know all the details of that, but I suggest using all 4 numbers right now. So in a nutshell, that is it. Like I said, I'll link Stevie's mods page. I'm sure you guys know of him. I don't want to put his name in a description or anything because I don't want to use his name to pull attention to me. I just want to make sure I credited him for helping me with this because, like I said, I struggled with the color thing. It was driving me nuts, and then once I finally broke his instructions down word for word, it was like a bell finally went off. It was frustrating it took that long, but I could not find any tutorials out there specifically in English explaining what you had to do and go on a step-by-step process. So once again, I hope this was helpful. Anyone on Twitch right now live, I'm going to jump off here, guys, and we'll start the stream back up and we'll get into some other stuff. So hang out, I will be right back.